All right. So we're checking some lighting issues. All right. I think that's doing pretty good. I was watching Vegas Mike. He was gambling $1 million and on his YouTube stream. Wonder if I should put him in there. But I am in the air chair. Normally, I've been doing lives out of my Restream software when I do my interviews and that kind of thing. And I'm going to get with Tony Fau. He is like a professional Hollywood guy. And we are doing some kidney content. And he wanted to do a live where we shared the screen with each other. And we're going to show some of these people how to do some of this content creation, because one of the big things that I'm doing is I'm working on Kidney Class. And Kidney Class can be found at markhope.com. It's in the top menu now. What we want to do is people that are suffering from chronic kidney failure are doing dialysis as part of their treatment. And it's pretty rough on you. To be honest with you, it is, a lot of work, and it is painful in a lot of different ways. And as we interview these kidney patients and they tell their story, in hopes that as we push that to a national audience, that they'll have people that are inspired by their story and offer to donate a kidney. And so it's my passion project after I've kind of gone through my kidney failure, and I was on dialysis for a year. Thank God I was on peritoneal dialysis. And peritoneal dialysis is where they put a port in your stomach, and then what happens is they put these bags of sugar water in your peritoneum, or in your like gut sac. And as you're sleeping, in my case, it was 5 fills every night for 8 or 9 hours a night. It would rotate 5 times. It'd fill me up with the sugar water, and then osmosis leaches those toxins into that sugar water, and then they drain the sugar water, and then they fill you up again. And that time in between, while the sugar water is sitting in you, that's called the dwell. And the dwell is where the toxins go out of your bloodstream and your body and everything else, and flushed out through the drain portion. And for me, when my kidneys failed, I was at like 5 on the EGFR, and I was, at the bottom, and it was crazy. I was looking for some of the videos of me before. My skin was just like crepe paper. I was bleeding. I have some pictures of my bedding, and thank God for my wife. I just was, an open sore. My skin itched so bad that I felt like I wanted to jump out of a window. And it was just the worst thing. And it's very hard for me to say this, but I think I had the easy part because I have a lot of friends that I've made in the kidney community, and that hemodialysis is not a joke. I mean, they go to dialysis for 3 hours, and it's been like they went, 6 rounds with Tyson, and then just beat up after that. And, they're taking all that fluid off. And some of them, that do the hemodialysis, they don't urinate. The system is shut down enough to where they can't produce urine. And the only way to get the water off your body is through the dialysis. And it's crazy. It's you're limited on how much you can drink. And if you go past that, you bloat up, and you could cause a heart attack or whatever. And in all this kidney stuff that I do, please understand, I absolutely am not a doctor. I am absolutely, not somebody that you should get medical advice from. And okay, let me check this mic and see if it's better. Oh, I think there's an issue with my tissue. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. God dang it. All right, I'm gonna have to fix that. So anyways, there's a lot worse than I had it, because I could produce urine. So at least I could drink some liquids if I wanted to. However, I couldn't eat a lot of different things, because one of the things that they monitor on your blood panel is your potassium and other chemicals that are, as they build up, they could be toxic, and it could kill you. But you need to monitor what things you're eating. And I was a diabetic for a number of years till I got Roux-en-Y surgery, and I'll do some more videos about that. But I was a really bad diabetic, and it was insulin-resistant diabetes, and I had to get the Roux-en-Y bypass surgery for my diabetes because I was at the end of the road, and they had tried everything they could try. It was on, like 12 big clicks of insulin every day, and I would eat 2 hamburger patties, and I'd still have blood sugar of 300. I mean, it was awful. But I asked my endocrine if he could recommend that I get the bypass surgery, and I ended up jumping through some hoops, and I got the Roux-en-Y bypass surgery, and I was just incredible diabetic. I was on 3 or 4 different shots, Victoza and the short-acting Humalog and yada, 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 strict diet. 4 days after that surgery, before I'd even lost a pound of weight, because you lose some weight on that too. And I didn't take any more diabetes medication ever after that. I'm doing that diabetes thing again now, but it's not for the regular thing. It has to do with the sugar being in your peritoneum. And now after transplant, they've got me on steroids and some different things after transplant that cause diabetes to go up. So I'm managing that. But if I would have gotten that surgery quicker, then I wouldn't have had the scarring in my kidney. That, I don't have a diseased kidney. I have a scarred kidney, and all the sugar in that blood was like a sandblaster, and it was gritty, and it was going through my kidney, and my blood pressure was already elevated, and it was causing me to gain some weight. And I've always been a big guy my whole life. And when I played football in middle school, I weighed 195 pounds. And I never had a weight that didn't start with a 2 until I got the Roux-en-Y surgery. I got down to like 189. And then kind of went back up to 205, balanced that out. But it taught me how to eat differently. It helped me, keep those results. Like when I go out to dinner, now I order whatever I order, and I try to make sure I eat protein with every meal. But I look at my plate, and I divide it in fourths or a third, depending on how much there is. And when I order my meal, I ask the waiter or the waitress, hey, could I have a to-go container first? And then they bring it to me. And when my plate comes, I immediately take off 2/3 of it, or 3/4 or whatever it is. And I eat slower, because I need to eat slower, given my condition and what I need to do. So everyone else is eating their full meal at regular speed, and I'm just, taking a bite of food, and then I set my fork down. I set my spoon down, and I enjoy the bite, and I'm kind of going at my own little pace, and that helped me. It helped me a lot. And so anyone that has type 2 diabetes, and you've tried really hard to eat just carbs, and and that's when I'm telling this whole story to get to the other story, and that is, for a while when I was horribly diabetic, I ate hamburger patties with cheese and eggs on, because that's all protein, it's no carbs. And I was trying to battle this diabetes, and I didn't have a chance because it was insulin resistant diabetes. After I got the surgery, then I can eat protein, and my sugars go down to 70. But one of the worst days I had in dialysis camp, and my girls at DaVita, and I'm going to have a page on my website honoring all the heroes that worked with me. But Dr. Chong Win was my nephrologist at the diabetes center. And every month you see the doc, and he tells you, what you need to do. And they do a printout of your thing. And then you've got a nurse, and you've got a social worker, and you've got a nutritionist, and they all get around and look at your chart and talk to you. And mine were wonderful. It was just like going to see my old friends. And, but my iron was low, and my potassium and phosphorus and everything was higher, and I had to kind of work on all that. And my worst day was no cheese, no dairy. And I thought, this is it. I can't eat carbs. I can't eat bread. I can't eat rice or pasta or now cheese. And it's like, I used to get a big block of sharp cheddar because that's the good cheese that you want to have, that it's not processed or whatever. And that's how you combat insulin resistant type 2 diabetes is by regulating your diet to where you're, eating protein, and in my case, meat protein, and hard cheese and things like that, because milk has sugars in it, but the hard cheese has less. Anyway, can't do that, so I stopped eating the cheese and got my numbers. I was focused on one goal: how do I get a kidney? And I did everything that I could do in dialysis to say, get me ready to get referred to the transplant center and get on the list and go through the tests and make sure that they like me as a candidate. And my job for the last year was to make sure that I was the very best transplant candidate that there was. And, that would give me a chance. And there's like a, 4 or 5 year waiting list to get a kidney. But I was determined to make sure that when a kidney came and it was right for me, that I would be in the best shape that I could ever be in to get a kidney. And then, I'm blessed by God. I have a wonderful family. I have a wonderful group of friends. And I don't say this to be braggadocious, but I had more than my share of people offering me kidneys, and some of them made me cry. I had a little girl that met me at a party in New Jersey, and she walked up to me and she said, "Big Papa, I want to talk to you." And I had coached this girl in some finance things, single mom, 2 kids, great kid. And we talked about how, she could refinance her house and save money for, wealth building, just the typical things that I talk about. She's doing really well. She's got a great job, and she's got good W-2 income coming in. And I just want to see her be successful in her retirement. And she's definitely my bonus daughter for sure. And I said, okay, yeah, let's sit down. And we went to the little corner of the parking lot we were hanging out in. And she said, "Big Papa, I want to give you my kidney." And that got me. Here's a young woman. She's got 2 kids to take care of, single mom, and she wants to give me one of her kidneys. And she got on the list, and I don't know where she ended up on the list, but I called her and I told her, I said, I love you and thank you for doing that. Thank you for offering me that. It means more than you'll ever know to me. But my wife was my match. She matched, and that's the most honored thing that I've ever had. I mean, some guy, his wife wants to have a surgery that will give him back his life, and I tried hard not to influence anybody, because I didn't want anybody that was going to want to give me their kidney. I didn't want them to think, he's bugging me about it, and, he's going to, have bad feelings if he asks me and I say no. So I made it a rule for myself. I didn't want to ask anybody for a kidney, because I didn't want somebody to feel like they were obligated and something was going to be weird if they didn't do it. But my wife got tested right away, and that was back in Denver when we were at Porter. And I don't know. There's a little bit jacking around, and I think we should have gotten that done, but their doctors were on vacation and different things happened. And so I got knocked off the list for something health related that I was having to fix. And, that opportunity went away. And so we moved to Oklahoma. And I stayed on the list at Porter, and I got on the list at Zudy Transplant Integris. And that's just a God thing. I don't know. We had the opportunity because we've been blessed in life. I had a house in Denver, and if we were going to go through the transplant process, we were just going to move into that rental house that's out in Denver and live there, and just do the whole transplant, the year of whatever we're going to do, and then be able to move back to Oklahoma or do whatever we need to do. But as it happened, we got a call from the Oklahoma Transplant Center, and we were ready to go, but my football bets are coming in. We're only down $40 on the tournament. That's pretty good. My wife had some health problems that happened to her. She was having these seizures that went on. So she needed to protect her health, and now she's off the list. And let me tell you something. I have never seen somebody cry as much as she did. She wanted to give me a kidney, and the fact that she couldn't do it is unbelievable. And I'm like, honey, you don't have to give me the kidney for the gift to be real. And here comes my daughter, my youngest daughter. She's getting tested. She qualifies. And she's a little bitty girl. And she's going to donate her kidney to me. And I got to tell you, I was going to cry again. Oh my God. And the coordinator called me and she said, Mark, Katie's a match and we can go ahead with her, except for her kidney's a little smaller. And you have some other people on your list. Maybe we should explore and see if there's some that are just a little bit better match flow wise, since you have the opportunity to have, more kidneys available to you. And that's when the hero showed up. My son-in-law showed up. He matched. The surgeons said that they can't believe that we're biologically not related because it was so close to the match. As a matter of fact, we shared some antibodies, and they had to really take away my immune system in the hospital with these really severe things. And that's why I've been on house arrest for the last 35 days and another 60 days. Because a 90-day house arrest because, it was so close. And, God bless him. And I always did love him. But, he came through. And I'll always love him for being a great dad to my grandchildren and a wonderful husband to my daughter and a great friend to me. But, I'm blown away, of this last development. And, I'll forever be grateful. And, I always love them and would take care of them. And because they're my people. But I had a lot of other people that were on the list. And they don't tell you, when somebody signs up to be on your list. So I think there's a lot of them that are just private and they got tested, and I'll never know who they are. But, a lot of them I do know. They reached out to me and they said, hey, Big Papa, I'm on the list. I'm getting the the package sent to my house, and you have to do a 24-hour urine catch, and then you have to go do all this blood work. And I know there's a lot of them that did that, that were there for me. And I just can't tell you, if you choose the right circle and you do your best to try to help people your whole life, God will send you an army of people to take care of you when you're down. And that's what happened to me. And it was unbelievable. And, I told my wife, I said, I just give it to God. And my prayer every morning is, God, who can I help today? And I've gotten very good in the last 10 or 15 years. I've gotten very good at listening, listening with my heart and just being open to receive that. And almost daily, I have somebody that reaches out to me and says, hey, Mark, I need this. Hey, Mark, I need you to talk to my son. He's not doing the things he's supposed to be doing, and he could use some advice, and he's not listening to me. And, whatever it is that I can give to someone else, my neighbor, who is a wonderful and a little bit crazy kind of lady, and we love the whole family. And she was driving her daughter to school, and there's this homeless guy named Larry, and he was sleeping in the snow under this tarp, and his feet were sticking out. And anyway, this neighbor of mine, and I'm going to say her name because I didn't tell her I was going to tell this story, but she's dropping this guy off blankets and food and dog food. He's got 2 dogs with him, 2 pit bulls, and I got a video of that somewhere. I'll try to post that. One time when we did a drop off, the dogs were there. My wife got involved. This dog is carrying a bag of treats around that the girls got him. It was a pretty funny video. But point is, she told us, what she's doing with this guy. I don't remember what it was. She said something about this thing, and I said, you're going down there by yourself? Yeah, it's fine. I don't ever, I pull in the Sonic across the street, and I don't ever, go over there or whatever. And I said, you got to be kidding me. That is crazy. I said, promise me that you will allow me to go with you from now on when you do that. And I will carry a gun to protect you because it ain't safe out there. And you are dropping a bunch of stuff off to this homeless guy. Well, there's other homeless people. There's other people that have bad intentions that see you bringing in money and food and dog food and everything else. I said, promise me you'll not go there by yourself. And so that started the whole trips to see Larry, which we haven't been able to do because I've been in kidney failure the last year real bad. And obviously now that I have my new kidney, I can't go do it till I'm out of quarantine. But we'll go help Larry when it's okay for me to do it. But the point is, she was called by God to help this guy, and I was called by God to help her. So I'm helping her more than I'm helping him. We're helping him, but point is, I get up in the morning and say, God, who can I help today? And then here comes this lady who's helping this guy with these dogs. And I'm like, okay, God, that's my job today. And I've really enjoyed my life. I mean, I really have enjoyed my life. And I've helped some people along the way, and that's been meaningful for me. And I do believe that if you surround yourself with that much positive karma for everybody, you know, when you really need it, and I really, really needed it, you know. And one of my heroes uh, at the end of his life said, I don't mind if I stay, and I don't mind if I go. Um, and he said, you know, people that don't have faith, they can't say that. And I feel that way. I really do feel that way because I have a strong attachment to my spirit family. And I know we're all up there hanging out. And every time we got to do one of these missions in mortal life, we learn something and you know, we gain those experiences. But, you know, I'm going to go back and see all my people again. And I always find them. And I don't care where they are. If they're in New Jersey and I'm in Colorado, I find them. You know, if they're in India and I'm in the United States, I find her, and we're together and we're helping each other. And, you know, it's a wonderful thing to try and put together your spirit family on earth when you're both here at the same time. And, you know, that's my personal thoughts. But I am going to end this because this live was just for me to test my gear and send it to Tony and see how things are going. So if somebody hasn't told you that they love you today, I love you. And there's no darn thing you can do about that.